Well, I suppose it's about time we do a little video on the 97 Ford Ranger here. Bought it for $700 a while back. Did a few little things to it. When I first got it, there was an oil leak, a pretty good oil leak in it. So I crawled under it and found that the oil filter had a little rust hole in it. So I changed the oil in the filter and took care of that little problem right there. Another thing, the back end, the differential was making a little bit of noise, so we drained the fluid, and it was actually pretty silvery. I mean, it looked like silver paint when we drained it. And we went ahead and replaced that, and haven't heard any noise coming from that since. Changed the manual transmission fluid while we were at it. That's done good. It still has a few little issues. When you go to shift, after about, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, it gets real hard to get it into gear when it's running. Turn it off, you can get it into any gear you want, but when it's running, it's real tough. So we found that if we bleed the clutch out, the cylinder out, it actually works for about 3 weeks, and then it'll start to get hard to shift again. I can't really tell if there's, you know, a leak. It's not a big one, if there is one, but there's definitely air getting into the system because we have to bleed it to make it work again. But that's nothing major. I think maybe I'll look at that later in the year, or if it gets worse, sooner. It's got a little bit of an exhaust leak, which is not really a big deal. It just makes it noisy. And we put this this ladder rack on here. This is actually from the S10 way over there. My uncle modified it to fit this this topper. We put it on there, and it's worked pretty good. Go ahead and fire it up for you. It's a little bit noisy, but it's not too bad. We'll close this door. There we go. It's got 293,000 miles, so it's got quite a bit of miles on it, but it runs pretty good. A few little issues. ABS light never goes out, and coolant temperature gauge never changes from what it's at, but not really a big deal. Coolant temperature gauge over here. Pointed to the wrong one. My bad. But yeah, other than that, it's not a bad little truck. Just a little noisy. It's got a little 4-cylinder in it. Does all right. I'm a pain to drive with boots, but that's all right. One other thing, when you're driving this thing, you'll notice you get on the freeway or whatever, and it'll kind of wander. Ooh. Let her out a little too quick with my boots. But you'll notice it'll you got a lot of play in the steering wheel. I think it's the steering gear that's actually doing that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is. I tell you, it's kind of tricky to drive with a camera and with these stupid boots on, but that's alright, we'll make it work. For $700, so I don't think it was too bad of a deal. My dad's been driving this one around town. I don't drive it much. I've been driving the LeSabre there. And that way he can use this for work. Throws out pretty decent heat. It's not great, but what do you expect with a truck with 293,000 miles on it?